Good morning, and welcome to another Motivational Monday. I am joining you from LPT headquarters, and Robert is going to be joining us from his beach home in Sailfish Point down in South Florida. Dave, if you want to pop him up, there he is. Hey, man, good morning.
Good morning, everybody.
Perfect. All right, let's just do a quick sound check. RPU sounded a little bit low.
Um, yeah, I'm on Zoom Natural, so can you guys hear me
Okay.
okay?
Yep. Hear you a little
All
better
right.
now. Perfect. Awesome, man. Well, good morning. Good to
Good.
see you. It's looks like some beautiful weather down there in South Florida, and
Pretty fantastic.
you, yeah, it looks like you're enjoying it beachside. So, how was your weekend?
My weekend was good. Reagan took Reagan out of school a little early on Friday, headed down south. She had a teacher work day today, so we're gonna head back this afternoon. But yeah, just great weekend on the beach with the kids. Built some sandcastles, beach walks, played in the pool. I mean, great little recharge because we've been running
Yeah.
hard between opening new states and just all the growth we're seeing here at LPT. It's been really exciting.
Yeah, I know. And you've been working really hard on some additional tools behind the scenes. I know you'll be talking about it here in the next couple of weeks. So I always like to see you get a little recharge when you're going that hard in the lab. But
Yeah.
yeah, so let's jump right in. I want to talk up kind of about Q4 planning. So I know that right now we are seeing a different environment than we've been used to seeing than the last couple of years. When you think about what was happening during kind of like the pandemic time frame, there was a lot of business to go around, and we had a different problem, right? Maybe you couldn't get buyers into homes because you were constantly writing offers, but you were busy and you felt like you were moving, and so you just had to, the Kodak was, hey, I just got to get buyers into the house, so I just got to beat other people multiple offers, and so right now we're kind of getting to an environment where things are shifting, and it's maybe not as clear is what we should be doing. And I know it's a cyclical business, so we're always getting to the time of year in fourth quarter where things are going to slow down kind of naturally just to follow that cycle. But that's also exacerbated by this higher interest rate market. And that can be really demoralizing for some people who are out there working really hard, doing the same that they were doing before, and maybe not getting the result that they want, or maybe falling behind their goals or, behind their bills or whatever that may look like. And so I know that, you've built a ton of businesses, and it always is not just a straight line. Everything that you do works perfectly. So what do you do when you're working really hard, you're putting all this effort, and you're not getting the results that you're looking for?
Yeah, look, I think it goes back to this concept that I talk about a lot. When you're in the boom, you need to be preparing for the next bust. And when you're in the bust, you have to realize that you are preparing for the next boom. And so what happens is when you're in that bust period, and look, and bust, bust does not mean the bottom is falling out. Bust does not mean 2008, but bust does mean that we are down significantly, down in the 4 million annual transaction range from 6 at the peak. I mean, it's pretty dramatic, and we don't know how Q4 is gonna turn out. But the work you do today is setting you up for success when things do turn around. And as you mentioned, this is a cyclical business. Things will turn around by season. Things will turn around as the market improves overall. And then, yeah, right now we've got this extra crazy dynamic of interest rates that really robbed some of the Q3 success from us that we should have seen. So we had a really great Q2. April, May, June. Really, it started in March. March, April, May, June were great months for the industry as a whole. A lot of big real estate brokerages put up profits. A lot of agents kind of felt like, oh, we're out of it. And unfortunately, a lot of that had to do with the combination of our seasonal peak with also what were the lowest interest rates we had seen in a good long while. I mean, in a full year. And so Q2 was fantastic. We saw a lot of transactions close March, April, May, June. And I think a lot of people got a false sense of maybe we're through it. And the things you did in January and February that didn't feel like they were working, and go ahead and go back to November and December of 2022 that felt like they weren't working. All of a sudden, everything was working again in March, April, May, and June. And that is the difficulty of this business because there are so many external forces. You can do everything right, and things can still not give you the result you expect or deserve. On the flip side, you can do everything wrong and you can still do pretty good in a period of time like March, April, May, and June, or like 2021 and 2020. And so what we have to realize is that we have to be focused enough and committed enough and zoom out and take the bigger look at the bigger picture to say, you know what I'm doing today isn't going to turn into transactions today. It's not going to turn into transactions tomorrow, but I know it is going to turn into transactions over time. And the more work and the more effort I put out today, the more results I'm going to see when things do turn around, when things do get better. And that's one of the hardest parts of this business. That is the number one reason why we have such a high failure rate in real estate. A lot of people point to, oh, it's lack of commitment, it's lack of this, it's lack of that. It's honestly a lack of understanding of the result to effort conundrum, or the result to effort ratio and reward time in our business. Because
That's right.
in months that are great, in March, April, May, June, you can do something and it feels like it worked right then. And then all of a sudden this year, in particular with rates going up, all of a sudden July, August, September, those same efforts stopped working. Well, it doesn't mean the effort's any less effective. It just means the market has turned on us. The market has turned against us. And so now we're going into a Q4. I feel like this is going to be one of the most dangerous Q4s we've seen as an industry because, again, a lot of people felt like because of Q2 results, they were going to be okay. Now we're going into what is traditionally a slower time of year combined with what are extremely high interest rates. I mean, I'm going to be honest, guys, like I feel like I am kind of an expert on this whole interest rate game. I did not see rates getting as high as they did.
Hmm.
I felt like we peaked and we're ready to come down the other side. And we've had one too many good jobs reports. We've had one too many hot inflation reports. And the Fed has now indicated this high rate nightmare that we're all living in is going to last even longer than we all thought. Now, look, that can change on a dime. If the next month's jobs report comes in abysmal, then things will turn around. But we're just not seeing that happen. We're not
Hmm.
seeing the housing market crack. And so we're going now into what is a slow time of year at a time when rates are at a new level of high. Inventory is more constricted than ever. The builders are running out of leverage to pull. They've been really good at pulling levers to keep things moving upward. They're starting to run out of leverage to pull. And so my advice is, and I've had this conversation with a lot of agents offline, be ready for a rough Q4. Keep your head down, do the things that you need to do, stay committed, stay focused, get out there and hold your open houses and recognize those are going to be March closings. Get out there and door knock your neighborhoods, pass out your door hangers and flyers, buy one of the amazing 7 home buyer strategies prospecting packs or 9 critical question prospecting packs where we have your face on that magazine, on the door hanger, but recognize those efforts are going to come a little bit later. And now I know there are pockets of the country where there's different dynamics. We've got the snowbird effect down here in Florida in certain places, but when we look at the market overall, this is a real scenario. And even in markets with snowbirds, we still have people who live there, people who work there year round, and they are not making moves right now. So just keep your head down. Realize that the work you put in today, the door hangers you put out, the open houses you hold, you are preparing for what should be a banner March. And that's hard to say because we're sitting here in October and it's really hard to commit yourself and to have the discipline to say, I'm going to do it today because I recognize it's going to set me up for record success in March, April, May, June, and next year. And you will see some success today. Like, don't get me wrong. We don't have a single month where no one buys a house. But when you look at the overall macro environment, we're going into a slower period. Stay focused and stay committed and keep yourself attached to the ultimate goal, which is the win that you're going to see in March. And then that's how I think about it. The things we are doing today is to set us up for the next win. I'll tell you last year, and I'm going to take this out to the macro LPT level. Our transaction count as a brokerage doubled between February and March of this year. All right. We were seeing agent count grow dramatically all through October, November, December, January, and February. We probably tripled the size of the brokerage, at least double the size of the brokerage through that window of time, but the transaction count stayed flat. And then all of a sudden in March, the transaction count doubled. All right. And then we doubled the transaction count. And now we've seen good little step ups ever since then. We closed almost 1,800 transactions last month. New record. We continue to get larger each and every month and grow, but we are fighting these cyclical headwinds. When we look at the overall market in September, it was down. We went down June, July, August was a slight tick up. August to September, big step down. LPT is going up each and every month. That's because we are growing at such a rapid pace on the agent count side, but we can't miss the fact that we are fighting the headwinds of the overall economy. Does that mean what we're doing isn't working? No. Does that mean we're suddenly attracting agents who aren't going to close deals? No. It means that the overall market has slowed, and the fact that we are still outperforming it is massive. And it's easy for me to see that in our data because the numbers are so big. I need you to believe it in your business, because while your business is a little more up and down, right? You can have good months, bad months. It's harder to smooth out the data when you're a solo agent or a smaller team. But believe me, when you zoom out to that macro level, the work you are doing today is 100% preparing you to win in March of next year. Because guess what? When LPT's overall business doubles from February to March, that means every one of our agents did more deals and had a better month in March than they did in February. And those efforts start with what you're doing right now today as we go from October. Because look, we're sitting here at October 16th. The customers you talk to today, you're now getting into, they're probably going to be looking at houses through the month of November. They're going to take a break around Thanksgiving. They're going to take a break around mid-December through the end of the year for the holidays. But you have to put in the work, build those connections, and use that time to go meet people in your community, make yourself known, put out that printed collateral, use all of these tools and weapons that we've given you to make you show up like no other agent in your market, but show up now so that when March hits, you're the easy decision for those customers to make.
That's right, man. I think that's where a lot of people miss. They want to put in the effort when things are easy to spot. Hey, listen, I know it's going to be busy during the summer. I'm going to put in the effort. I'm going to go out there. I'm going to be visible. There's a lot of activity. But really, the people who are transacting in that period of time have already made their decisions in the weeks and months before that. And so, again, when everyone pulls back, when the market starts to slow down, like I know I see way less advertisement in my inbox and my mailbox at home right now, just because that seems to happen every single year. And then around March, it seems to kind of like start. And I always think about how backwards that is. You know, I want to advertise when no one's advertising. I want to be top of mind right now so that when you do see this unlock in March, that's kind of the time frame that you're angling, people are thinking about you. And, you have to also think not only are we going to have this cyclical slowdown that we have every single year, but you've got all these people who are genuinely trapped inside of their home because of the higher rate interest rate market, right, that we're in right now. And at some point that will start to unlock, or it will become to a point where they say, hey, listen, I would love to be able to have a different interest rate, but I've got to make my move. And so what we've eliminated right now are the preference people. Hey, I would like to move up because I want to. And the people who still have to move will do that. But at some point, the people who want to move will still do that. And that may happen, around, end of Q1 of next year, maybe Q2. And again, this is just speculation, but it is a psychology kind of unlock. As you start to see people get used to this environment, they realize it's not going, they start to make decisions in the environment. They're not going to hold off forever. And you got to be ready and top of mind when that happens. So I love that concept. One thing I want to were you going to say something?
Yeah, I just want to say, look, we are committed at the corporate level, the brokerage level here at LPT to giving you an unfair advantage in any market, right? That's the hot market, that's the cold market, that's the hot buying season, that's the slow buying season. And so a few things that you can do right now. One, know that you are in the best place to ride out and survive any ups and downs. We have models at your choice that can put more money in your pocket. If you go into a slow time of year and you need to change your plan to put more money in your pocket, that's what LPT was built for, to give you the choice as an entrepreneur to control your business. And so you're in the absolute best place to ride out any storm and any waves here at LPT. And then beyond that, because of our commitment to giving you this unfair advantage through the marketing tools, there are things you can do right now. You can take your sample power pack and you can go show it to 20, 30, 40, 50 people in your sphere who are not going to conduct business right now, but are willing to have a conversation with you. Show them all the amazing tools and weapons that you bring to bear whenever someone does list a home with you, so that you are top of mind when the first of the year comes back around. Get one of those prospecting packs. Put your face on that 9 Critical Questions magazine superimposed on the jumbo door hanger. That's probably one of the most powerful marketing tools we have, is that jumbo door hanger with the 9 Critical Questions magazine on the front of it, or the 7 Home Buyer Strategies magazine on the front of it. Get out there and put those into neighborhoods and be consistent with it. Let that home seller see your face on that door hanger in October, in November, in December, again in January, and be the decision they make when February and March start to roll around and people get back into that decision making process. Do the work right now. Utilize the tools that we have for you. And that's the two most powerful things you can do at a period of time like this. Give your presentations. Take those active marketing plan magazines, take that listing power tools sample power pack and show it to as many people as you can, because you will turn them into ambassadors who will then spread your message and spread the amazing system you have to their friends and family and their neighbors. Double down on your open houses. Why? This is another great opportunity to give presentations to people who are not already in your sphere. Whenever someone comes through an open house, if you're slow and there's nobody in there, you now have an opportunity to give them a presentation on the active marketing plan and the listing power tool sample pack. And one of the big things I want you to kind of get out of the habit of saying is, well, if I'm holding an open house, I'm looking for buyers. I'm only going to take the 7 home buyer strategies. No, most of those people, 70% of them have a house to sell. And particularly if they're wandering around neighborhoods at open houses, they probably live in that neighborhood, which means you're probably not at an apartment complex, which means they probably are a homeowner. So an open house is a great way to give a presentation on both your seller services and your buyer services. That 7 home buyer strategy jumbo door hanger in the prospecting pack, put that on homeowners' doors too, because when they decide to sell that house, they're going to have to buy a new one. And the number one reason they don't want to buy a new one and sell that one is because they think the payment is going to be too high. We arm you with the tools to show them how to get a lower payment in any market environment, which is going to help them be willing to list their house. So get out there, give those presentations, get the collateral. The collateral marketing system is the most powerful marketing system in all of real estate right now, and it is exclusively available to you as LPT agents. Yes, listing power tools is one small piece of that, but the entire the entire collateral marketing system is only available to you here at LPT Realty. Use those tools. Get out there, give your presentations, put your face in front of these sellers, give your credibility, give yourself the positioning of being on the magazine, being on the billboards, being all these places that we put you, and set yourself up to win and break records in 2024 as we come out of what will be one of the worst periods in real estate of the foreseeable past.
That's right. Someone said, "Preach! You spitting that fire this morning, man." I love that. Well, we appreciate the passion, man, and it really shows, how you've built your businesses based on these philosophies, and you can see it when you're talking about this. This is really what it takes. It takes about, destroying those self-limiting beliefs, going out there and doing the work when you can't necessarily see the immediate reward, and positioning yourself to win when the market turns. And so, as a testament to all of us, we've seen what you've built, and we're excited to be a part of that mission here with you. But one thing I want to kind of turn it over to on a lighter note, recently you were nominated for an Emmy. I didn't even realize that was a thing here for real estate brokerage. So let's see. The nomination was for the Birds campaign, all the Larry Bird commercials for 2022 and 2023 with Robert Palmer and John Powell. So hopefully we bring it home this month. But how is this even happening? Like, we're a real estate brokerage. How are we being nominated for an Emmy?
Yeah, so John Powell, our director of video and creative services, is just an absolute genius. Him and I have worked together for a long time now, and to see these campaigns come to life, and it's just so amazing to see the impact that Larry and the Birds have on our agents, on the consumer, on building this brokerage. And so we took home a number of Tellys, which is another award in the industry, but the Emmy is the big one. And so this is the second time we've been collectively nominated for an Emmy. John, myself, and of course Larry and the Birds. We did not win it last time. That was under Listing Power Tools. So that Emmy nomination is now part of LPT Realty as well through Listing Power Tools. So we're now a 2-time Emmy nominated brokerage, which is pretty exciting. We're going to find out in December if we win that. I'd love to be an actually Emmy award-winning real estate brokerage. But look, we do a lot of amazing things here, and it has to do with how we position our agents, how we position the brokerage, how we communicate with consumers. And if you think about the quality of production that we put out as a brokerage, the Desi video with the Birds explaining how our amazing marketing AI system works, the Birds explaining and doing our amazing 2022 to 2023 year-end recap. And we're now working on a total redesign of the entire LPT website to do a better job of highlighting all of this amazing material, the amazing videos, the things that we're showing out there at rallies and events, because we do have an amazing look and an amazing polish here at LPT Realty, and so much so that the Emmys recognized it, and again, we've been nominated this year, so really exciting. And these are the little differences here at LPT, and I'll tell you this too. It's interesting. We've seen a lot of LPT copycats start to come up. Companies now trying to combine the 100% commission with rev share, doing this hybrid model. And the first thing I'll say is I respect everyone who tries that more than they respect us. And I'll tell you what that means. When the big guys, the big cloud brokerages looked at us pop up with LPT, they had no respect for what we were doing, and they instantly dismissed us. And that is a mistake that I do not make and will never make as a CEO, because I've been that little disrespected guy that all of a sudden grew a record number of agents in 18 months and accomplished something that had never been done before. And so when a new model does come up, I have a lot of respect for it, to look at it, to respect the entrepreneur for trying to put it together. But at the end of the day, when I see that they totally missed the mark, what I recognize is they didn't respect us either, because they didn't understand what we're really building here. They want to take it and they want to boil LPT down to one little thing and say, oh, well, they're only growing because they have this, or they're only growing because they have that. And what that does is it disrespects me and every one of you on this call, because LPT is so much more than one little thing that they think they're going to pigeonhole us down to. And so when they copy that one little thing, they try to copy the box, they try to copy the rev share model, they miss what we're actually building here and how we all have come together to revolutionize this industry by giving more power and an unfair advantage and choice back to our agents. And you can't accomplish that by taking one little piece of this model. And if they respected us as much as I respect them to actually do the research on who we are here and what we're doing, they would take a different approach. And so whenever I see one of these little copycats pop up, and it is interesting because we have spawned more attempted copycats in 18 months, I think, than most real estate brokerages will spawn in a decade. But look, first thing is, again, I always respect them. I do the deep dive. I take the look, because I'm waiting for the next us to come along, because LPT will have to be ready to pivot and be more respectful of the next us that comes along than the big guys were of us, because that's what will keep us in the lead as we continue to take the lead in this industry. And so when a new model pops up, when a new copycat pops up, when someone takes one of our tools and says they're improving upon it, the first thing I do is take my ego out of it, take myself out of it, take a big step back and say, okay, did they get it right? Did they figure out something here that we missed? Are they doing something better that we now need to adapt to, that we now need to change to make sure that we can keep LPT at the top of the food chain, at the top of the pile, as we continue to grow and revolutionize this industry and empower our agents and give them an unfair advantage? And unfortunately, every time I've done that exercise, the answer has been no. All right. And I am looking for it. Like, I want to see it. I am not above adapting this model to keep up with someone who figures something else out that is better. But what I continue to see is they miss it. And I realize they miss it because they do not respect what we are doing here. They do not believe there's anything special here. They believe there's some little gimmick or there's some little gotcha or whatever it is. They don't respect the actual culture and the talent and all of you believing and caring and coming together and what we are building to achieve what we achieved. And so now these guys believe that anybody can launch a brokerage with our model and grow to 5,000 agents in 18 months. What I'll tell you is, in 18 months from now, we're going to see how much that is not the case as we get up to 20,000, 30,000, 40,000 agents. But it is interesting to me. And so this Emmy nomination is just one more little example of one of the intangibles. Does getting an Emmy make us a better brokerage? No. But is all the things we're doing to be a better brokerage the reason we got noticed by the Emmys? Absolutely. And that's the intangibles here at LPT Realty that will make us the largest real estate company in the country and will make us home to agents who can have the most successful version and the most achievement in their definition of success, right? This is a big principle for us here at LPT. It's not about how I define success. It's not about how Inman defines success. It's not about how Real Trends defines success. It's about how each one of you defines your individual success. And we want to be the catalyst to help you achieve that at the absolute highest level. And that's one of the things these other guys all just keep missing.
That's right, man. I love it, man. I love it. You were definitely, I can tell you had some time with the family. You are, you are rejuvenated and ready to go, man. So we're looking forward to seeing you this evening. But hey, okay, so we are about at time. I hope you guys are feeling motivated. I hope you guys see the passion and how obsessed RP is with pushing this industry forward for you and doing it together as a team so that we all win. And like he always alludes to, define success your own way. That may be more time in your schedule, being more financial means, whatever that is for you, you've got the ability to accomplish it here. You've got Robert's passion to draft off of when you're feeling a little unmotivated. So now we're going to go to our state announcement. Are you ready to kick that off? Do we have any?
I'm ready to announce a state. I feel
All
like
right.
this was maybe like the worst kept secret in all of LPT history. But this fine state will be opening on December 1st. We're now 45 days out from that amazing date. December 1st, we're going to be opening the great state of Michigan.
All right.
And
Love
we
that.
have we
Yeah, there
have
was.
4 weeks of announcements. That is state number 5. This week announcing Michigan opening 12/1. So we've got 2 more weeks coming up of state announcements. So stay tuned. We've got a couple of shockers in there and a couple of
Yeah.
maybe less, a couple more obvious ones. And I've always got a couple of surprises up my sleeve. So make sure you tune in for those last 2 state announcements. There's definitely a few things in there that no one's expecting.
Awesome. Awesome, man. All right. Well, we are at time. So any final words for you?
Now, look, guys, go out there and make it a great week. Stay focused, stay committed. I hope you're jacked up on this call. I know I'm jacked up every day for what we're doing here at LPT Realty, and it's exciting to be able to share that with you and help you maybe push through. If you woke up today feeling like this was not going to be your week, look at this amazing sky behind me. I've got great weather where I am today. Feed off this energy that we collectively have as a group. Read through that chat and see how many of your brothers and sisters here at LPT Realty are excited about the business they are building, excited about their own definition of success, and the fact that we can all win together. I mean, that's one of the amazing things about this industry is we really can all win together. It is a cooperative industry. We work together to help customers transact the largest asset in their lives, their home, and to buy and sell that real estate and to buy and sell investment properties and to create wealth. And there's just so much exciting stuff each and every day. So I'm excited about it. I want you to be excited about it. I hope you are. When you get off this call, take some action. Decide what you're going to do for these next 6, 8, 10 weeks to put yourself in position to absolutely crush 2024, because that is how we all win together. So go out there and make it a great week. And we'll see you Friday for Real Estate First Friday or back here on Monday for next week's Motivation Monday.
Awesome.